Thank you, Trace. Now, AVANGAR, that was an interesting interview from Adren saying they didn't really prepare for Simon, so maybe they were kind of sandbagging almost by accident. Anyway, ENCE are going to have something to do with on the B bomb site. Almost everyone with Kevlar. They have a kit though, and they're doing well so far with Sergey getting 2 kills, trying to hold down this bomb site. 3 players around the pillar now for the T's, and they don't really have any angles. The crossfires are great for ENCE, and they won't lose a single player.
Yeah, and the whole dynamic with the Lexi B is really interesting because there's been quite a few times where we've seen it players knowing that they've been pulled in, just to play at the major, or they're going to be cut after the major, and so on and so forth. And there's been quite a few cases where that player has actually overperformed massively during the major. So I wonder if that will be the case for Lexi B, because that would be really, that would obviously make ENCE extremely dangerous. But either way, into the second round, and AVANGAR have chosen not to really invest. We've got a P250 and a flashbang. So objective is just a kill or 2 would be absolutely fine in this position. And then they understand, I don't know if they understand the tendencies of AVANGAR, but you can see they've actually favored UMPs mostly here, and there's the M4, so they're pretty light on utility. So really thinking about that third round.
Sanji seemed distracted, it seemed. Looking the wrong way. Nice angle for Alu. Always difficult to pull yourself out of the connected position and go back towards the toilet. Sometimes if your teammates have short B, it's a better route to rotate to a position further back. But ENCE will hold their position for now. Sergey has Alu's back in terms of the above connector. He's in divider at the moment. Got AVANGAR using some utility to make their way into the toilets from long. Now they're looking for close quarters engagement, as you can see. At this point they have a P250 and 3 sets of Glocks. A leg was spotted. He's a leg man, Alu, and he's looking for more.
There we go. Alu will be spotting Adren, tagging him up. So they're fairly boxed in at the moment. There's not really much that AVANGAR can do. They are stuck in the long ranges as well. If they were to make their way towards that A bomb site, there's a huge long channel to do it. That's not ideal. So they will reroute themselves towards the bathrooms, which is, of course, a little bit more favorable, but still. Oh, hello. Dink there from Buster, but their fate is unfortunately inevitable. Oh, there you go. So that's the objective actually met. And there's no way Jane gets a plant here. Good effort. 1 kill. Now we get into the real Counter-Strike.
The nitty-gritty, as they say.
Yes.
See what AVANGAR have to offer and what ENCE choose to do with their SMGs. Might handicap them to, let's say, being in connector, making a short B play, for example. But we've seen all the upgrades, actually. X7 holding onto his UMP, but beyond that, we've got a French gun for Lexi B, which I think was in the previous round, and then the AWP for Alu, Sergey, and Ariel on M4A4 and M4A1S, respectively. I think from the stats I saw of the weapons that were bought, I think it was about 90% M4A4 and 10% M4A1, just between those two, which some people may have a problem with, but there's no particular reason that it needs to be 50-50. Oh, there's a clue for Lexi B. He hears a collision, not shy to go for the peak. He's got some information, but 4v4 for AVANGAR with 1:30 on the clock.
However, ENCE have the advantage on information. They already know what's going on. They've got Sergey very, very deep. And obviously, Alu is still in control of that position. And here comes the push. So ENCE ready for this. Can they get the kill? So Ariel able to get himself a double. Lacking the bullets, lacking the health now as we see a 2 versus 2 as the rotation will come in. Sergey from the Monster Tunnel, and Adren already knows about it. Great read there coming from Adren. I think he may even have heard a step or two. And now it's Alu in the 1 versus 2 on the AWP. Smoke will be annoying, but that will go away rather quickly. As we can see, it begins to dissipate. Now he can get a look in. However, what can he do to bait out these players? Because they don't have any argument to peek him. He has to go committed with this AWP. He's going to risk all of it. He's got a double peek setup. He misses the first shot. Adren with another headshot. Beautiful round from him. 4 kills. He is starting off very well today.
Alu had no kit towards the end there, but I would presume that it was communicated there was probably one on the site. It's an assumption I will make because it was fairly ticked. And it's nice to see Adren starting off well. I do wonder moving into AVANGAR if some of the positions he's playing on the CT side, for example, are ones he's not used to, and if that will develop and improve over time. It was interesting, just like an example of Pro CS versus what you're doing at home. I forget who it was around the pillar for ENCE, who traded a kill for their teammate, but didn't realize it wasn't the person who killed his teammate to begin with. You don't always have time to check the kill feed or That's why communication is so important, because the guy who's dead has to say, that's not the guy, there's another one. Anti-eco time for AVANGAR. ENCE broken early. They have position, and that's a rifle they could collect unless a Dren can protect it. But more or less the whole team is here. Sanji will appear late, but now Alu's the only man standing with the USP. He'll be the last man to fall. 2-2 for AVANGAR. So again, going back to that interview with Adren, talking about the game, the Simon Gaming game, saying they didn't really, like, I guess he was saying they didn't really focus on counter-stratting, and they were focusing on their own developed strats and just playing their own game, as he said a few times. But I do wonder if we will see more than that. I think more than that may be required for someone to get a victory in some of these games in this segment of the tournament. Now we've got a second sniper for ENCE.
Yeah, definitely the natural progression. AVANGAR have always been really comfortable in this map. I've seen them during Astralis' era, giving Astralis a run for their money a few times on Overpass. So they are not lacking a solid and well-developed playbook on Overpass, so they are not to be trifled with, not to be underestimated. And they have opted to play a much slower default here, with 3 players now making their way towards the long position. Alu's been blinded before the push was visible, so he doesn't really know what that flash means. That could just be a run-of-the-mill flashbang, doesn't know how many players are actually behind that. Sergey is, of course, on high alert as he will hear the running. There's the first challenge. Beautiful from Sergey. Absolutely fantastic! And he gets another one out of it. That should have been guaranteed for Kikert. But no, Sergey too strong, and that's crippled this round for AVANGAR.
That deserved that round of applause, damn it. That was excellent. Sanji and Jame remain. Great way to answer a difficult round by ENCE. Again, looking at their money, they need to survive in the numbers. This is a common jump peak, or just looking the wrong way. James has been spotted now, so that will limit his options. He's the only man alive, so look at the radar. You see, they know exactly where he is, so they know how much real estate they can take. So you've got X7 rotating beyond T-spawn to close down any saving situations. James got his frag. That'll create some space for himself. And he's basically hiding in plain sight here, but every time he's seen, the CTs move a little closer, his options to save become a little bit smaller. A lot tougher.
Oof. Getting damage is really important for him here. And it's not that bad to die there either, considering that Buster was on $0 at the beginning of that round. And all the money was a little bit weird. I think had he survived with that AWP, that of course they would have forced it up around it, but it would have looked a little strange. Either way, Jane will be back on the AWP in this next round, and here's Sergey really just shutting it down completely. This is really beautiful. Kikert really needed to get that kill.
Yeah, that was excellent. I think Jane his job at that point, when he's the only man alive, is to do as much damage as possible, to play for the long run. Try and maim the economy, weaken it, make it brittle. Only the one kill though. So we have an aggression, or a counter-aggression, if you will, towards short B. You can see Kikert on an X-ray starting to creep. So Ariel's not looking to fight to the death here. A few bullets and some grenades will come over the top. Seems he won't peek behind it. It's a cheeky peek from Jame. One of the older jump peeks we used to see on a T side. Not often you see an AWP try and catch a cheeky frag though around somebody towards divider. Normally you see that position smoked off, and a Molotov over from the fountain to divider to force the CTs from their position.
Oh, what do we have here? Okay, here's a bait, a run boost bait for James to go for the peak. So you can see that AVANGAR are really trying to do absolutely everything they can. They've got a lot of little tactics to use at their disposal in order to gain control of the map. And 45 seconds remaining now, and they've only just gotten half of the bathrooms under control. They've of course got Kikert quite deep here towards the sewers, trying to keep players towards that B bomb site and keep the option alive of going back for a B rotation if it doesn't go well towards A. But that's a great pick off from Jame. I think there was a smoke up as well, so I'm not sure if that was a... Oh, I think he got that actually from the banana position. So lots of pressure on this A bomb site, and here AVANGAR go.
19 seconds to plant the bomb. They need to control the truck position if they're going to get this plant. But Sanji was carrying the bomb. He's on the floor now. 13 seconds, and they've got to deal with Alu. They have to deal with Alu. That's one way to do it. AVANGAR spreading all over the bomb sites. Now there are no angles for the CTs to stop a bomb plant, and they are really out of position. This limits their options. There aren't many grenades left with AVANGAR, but they've got so many lasers. would be surely suicide for ENCE to try and make their way into the site. That was really interesting. What I was watching Sanji on the radar carrying the bomb. He kept lurking towards the B bomb site, and he was around that kind of entrance to connector, going back and forth as they were discussing their options. But they eventually went towards the A bomb site. For those of you in GoTV, I would recommend Sergey. Easy pick since he's had a really good start, but I think the position he's playing and the timing of how he moves back and plays off of his teammates is something that people could learn from. So in this half, at the very least, he's my GoTV pick.
So ENCE have the ability with 2 players surviving to drop 2 guns and to go for a force buy, with Alu perhaps being the guy that will likely play UMP or something similar. Maybe they'll play a bit more aggressively around the connector position. We'll have to see exactly what the plan is for them. Actually, instead of opting for UMP, he goes for the shotgun. So I think I was right about one thing, which is that he's going to play aggressively towards the connector. I think that's pretty much the only spot you really want to be starting the round off with a auto shotgun with. So we'll see how that goes for ENCE. But of course, AVANGAR have done a really good job in keeping their economy low, and ENCE are really going to be desperate to pick up this round, lest AVANGAR get a huge advantage. And AVANGAR are playing pretty slow to begin with, taking Fountain tentatively. A quick peek towards sewers as well. So ENCE really trying to get that information. Here goes Sergey. He's protecting Ali, who's in connector in this position.
This is an interesting setup from Sergey, because he generally needs some cover of that. That's a beautiful peek from him. Did they see that jump in on a previous round? Because in a position like that, a forward position, you'd expect him to be playing off a sniper by divider or something like that. But that was seemed very, very scary indeed. But maybe he knew something we didn't. Once again, ENCE starting to crush around versus AVANGAR. 5 versus 2. Another multi-frag for Sergey. But again, if you look at the old MIBR strats and how they used to have a 2-man setup with Fallen around the toilets, you used to see various different angles from the CT with the rifle next to the other side of connector, for example. That was very forward position, but that looks like a hard read versus AVANGAR. And they're going to have to change their game now. That's going to really make them not want to make that play again. I'd be surprised if they went for it once more without some kind of change. But if they do make that change, then they'll be playing to their opponent and not playing their own game, as Adren was saying. So that'll be interesting. Still plenty of rounds to go in this half. And 2 versus 5. What will they choose to do? Not much, it seems.
Really enjoyed the double peek in connector after that double from Sergey. That's the basics, done very well. But ENCE, you know, they really became known for not necessarily having individual superstars when they first made their run at the previous major, but really it was, I think, the team play and team cohesion that really shone. And it's, you know, there's those like fundamentals like that, like these perfectly timed and spaced, you know, peaks together that are something of beauty from the likes of ENCE. And now AVANGAR, as mentioned, are in a position where perhaps they'll have to change a few things. This is a nice little exploit, as James said. You know, you wonder if they spotted that boost previously and wanted to try to punish it if AVANGAR went for it again. Now AVANGAR will have to be a bit more diligent in making sure that there's no one close to that position if they want to try that. And ENCE have opted to play somewhat passively here, not going for an aggression anywhere. Seeing what AVANGAR are going to do in response to such a crushing round. And looks like AVANGAR have switched things up. They'll take over connector early on, and they've not really developed any control towards the fountain or party area just yet.
There are 3 guys deep in the toilets for ENCE. They're changing up their CT setup. Always important, so you don't get counter-stratted. But this is a very different setup to what we've seen before. AVANGAR, however, moving into position for a split of the B bomb site. Now we've got Buster keeping them honest. He's just lurking around the playground, making sure there's no flank. We saw the information plays from ENCE in prior rounds where they were that deep. But it seems AVANGAR are looking for a response. They're not quite committing to anything. The bomb is in a very non-committal position. Sanji, once again, the man to pick it up. Carrying a MAC-10 this time. Now we've got the initial grenades. That flash takes people off the angle towards the divider. Some people throw it off the light, which is a little awkward. The wall seems a lot more simpler and consistent. Look at the shadow on the floor. Easy warning for Sergey. Sees it all day, and there's no response to be had.
Yeah, so many free kills here for Sergey, and in goes Sanji. They go for the, they try to trade out Alexi and Sergey, but they get so crushed there. That was so convincing from ENCE. Kiko will get a frag, but at this point, it's more or less just trying to impact the economy of ENCE. Another kill would be nice if he could possibly find a way to do it, but might get backstabbed here. Aerial, or rather Sergey creeping his way, and ooh, Sergey had all day for that one. It was a little bit hairy, but gets it done in the end.
What's sick about all those peaks, all the angles ENCE were holding, if there's no pop flash from AVANGAR, they ENCE get a warning. Every angle they were holding has a shadow advantage. The shadow of the T's is spotted. Look at the floor here. Plenty of warning. That just makes it a lot easier. First kill for Lexi B, same situation. And if you go far away from the wall, as you normally would, you'd be exposed down long. So that's a rough spot for AVANGAR. No flashbang. And again, we spoke about ENCE changing their CT setup. You put that in with no warning, and it just devastates the round. And that's like the third round ENCE have won in devastating fashion. Now AVANGAR are on pistols, and it's a completely different setup again for ENCE. Once more, it's Sergey, the man inside the toilet, to have that judgment as to when to start to move back. And they move back early ENCE, so they've got a handle on the economy of AVANGAR. They're going to play maximum range and abuse the range of these rifles versus these pistols.
Yeah, it's starting to look desperate for AVANGAR. As you say, ENCE have so many just solid setups to go to. It's not like they're picking setups that, okay, no, this is to specifically counter something AVANGAR are doing, but it's generally weak unless they do this thing. Now, they have all kinds of very effective variations that can deal with a variety of different approaches from the T side. So you can't quite predict what they'll do. And you can, by running your defaults, just run into stuff like that. So AVANGAR are almost put in this position now where they have to almost give up going for a default and just try to get at least onto a bomb plant, because they need to find a way to at least do more damage to the economy of ENCE. ENCE are really crushing these rounds when AVANGAR play defaults, or strict defaults. So we'll see if there is some kind of a mix-up in approach from AVANGAR now to go a bit more aggressive. We might even just see a fairly fast B play or B set piece coming in from them. Sometimes it's nice just have a bit of breathing room where you don't have to just fight for every ounce of the map in these like 1v1 situations where you're pop flashing every single corner, and it's nice to have that aggression and just get onto a bomb site. That's a set piece on the B side can give you on this map. But they'll take a tactical, and they'll likely trying to isolate, where the real problems are and the direction they'll be taking forward and get on the same page in this pause that they have taken.
One problem is Sanji's not on the scoreboard just yet. He has been taking the worst weapons in some of these rounds, though, must be said. One round he was, like he's a bomb carrier, so I think he's the guy in the back, not giving that bomb information, sometimes with a MAC-10, not ideal situation for him. Sergey is devastating these guys at the moment, holding down that position ahead of the toilets. And I put ENCE in my pick'ems, and some people were asking me why, they have a significant roster change that's been confirmed already. I got weird sounds in my ears. That's been confirmed already. But the thing is, they're still a very solid team. If you look at their results, apart from their 0-3 versus Liquid, for me, there's little reason why they shouldn't proceed. I think, considering the nature of the team, being run by Natu and so on, they've got Red Bull on their jerseys. They're not going to come in here just to not do anything. We've got a lot of activity around the B bomb site. Oh, he just doesn't see Sergey. Good angle from him, taking the place of value this time. But the rest of AVANGAR are indeed close towards the B bomb site, but one by one they try and make these entries, and they're getting shut down by ENCE. Big advantages, and again, AVANGAR don't really have any position, and there's no presence towards A, so what can they really do here?
Yeah, another spot where they're in a lot of trouble. They tried to get towards that B bomb site, just not working out. ENCE have such good basics. It's such a beautiful thing to watch when you see a team that just has incredible skill and refined fundamentals like ENCE do and have that consistency behind it. They got themselves a top 2 at the previous major, not by any accident. That is for certain. Now we'll just have to see if AVANGAR can find any adjustments. So far, everything they've been trying has really been failing. And sometimes as well, it's difficult on the T side to get kills if you can't get your players in position. And it feels like ENCE are the ones that are able to take the initiative, even when you have AVANGAR trying to peek these corners to get these engagements. Having stuff like the shadow advantage or putting yourself in the position where you're already in such a strong spot to deal with those pushes when they come in. It feels like ENCE is a step ahead every second of this game so far. And AVANGAR did do a good job to reset the situation after losing the pistol and, you know, winning a couple key rounds, but ultimately ENCE are defeating their fundamental approach on the T side. And AVANGAR did indeed try to mix things up in that previous round, and that didn't work either. So, you know, what do you do if you're AVANGAR right now? They're in a really desperate position, but such is the nature of playing competition at this level. You have to be able to figure stuff out when everything's going wrong. That is the true mark of a professional. And we'll see now ENCE very comfortable. 3 AKs. And AVANGAR down with just a few pistols. 1 AK on Buster. This is a pretty typical AVANGAR buy where you get that single AK, you sacrifice all the money of one player to get that AK out. And 2 smokes and a flashbang. So it looks like they're moving towards this A-bomb site.
All right, this is all about Buster. You can see AVANGAR just holding in connector at the moment. The pistoling guys need to stay alive. Buster needs to find the entries, but he's going to lose the AK. That's a problem. AVANGAR needs to swarm after. Ali will see the gun that has been picked up. So they know it's still around the toilets for now. Sanji will be dealt with in long. And Kika has the bomb with some, the AK, sorry, with some Kevlar. Can the sound guys fix the rogue microphone, please? I think there's a mic turned on somewhere that needs to be turned off. Kika and Jame remain. See if they can do any damage.
Yeah, damage is the name of the game. It's still a few rounds to play for, and although at this point ENCE's economy is pretty outrageously strong. Oh, Jame! Oh no, he had that one, and considering how weak Sergey was as well, that's a bit disappointing. However, that will be the round for ENCE once again. 5 players surviving, and they are looking so unchallenged. What a great way for them to make their, well, make themselves known in this tournament. Right out the gate with a strong CT side. Obviously, the game is not over just yet. We have a whole second half to be played and a few rounds remaining here. But AVANGAR, they keep trying new things and yet to find anything that works. And what's most worrying is that it's not just struggling to find the approach that works. And, you know, because maybe it could be the case that you're getting into positions to succeed, but you just can't close it. Right now, they aren't able to kill anyone because they're not setting their players up or finding ways to do that against ENCE to give them fragging opportunities. Now here's ENCE going much more aggressive than we've seen them, and that's going to allow Buster a 1v1, which he'll actually win. Ali with a whiff as well. Perhaps there's opportunity now here for AVANGAR.
Yeah, LXCB can help him if necessary, but he's got some stuff to deal with as well. Buster taken out with the Galil. Was a rough buy for AVANGAR. Now, Alu's still holding down above connector. He's just dropped a molly in front of it, and he's covering his teammate from the back, so LXCB can hold position. But can AVANGAR identify an opportunity towards B? They're still worrying about this area, and hey, ENCE could make an aggressive play towards the A-bomb site to try and channel AVANGAR in towards B, but be ready for that as well. So you never quite know. Still trying to deal with this. LXCB by the fountain, didn't spot Jame. So we've got a 3 versus 3, just under a minute, and the bomb will be rotated towards the B bomb site. I don't know if ENCE had even seen it. I don't know that LXCB, he was looking away, so they may not have realized, but here we go. Straight into B bomb site for AVANGAR.
Yeah, flash for Kiko, but that's of course going to give the warning for likes of ENCE, and they have got themselves a nice kill. And with that kill, you start to feel like AVANGAR's chances are slipping away again. Jame has to do something pretty awesome here from the monster tunnel. Goes for the peak with the shadow advantage again. Helps Aerial, able to spray him down, and time is really against Sanji in this 1 versus 1. The smokes are still up, but he doesn't know where Alu is, and Alu will connect a shot. Great stuff there from Alu, and another round goes to ENCE. At least it was a little bit closer this time, but
I'm loving these CT rounds. Well, firstly, let's just say Sanji's made it to the scoreboard, so welcome for him. He was 0 and 0-something 10 in the round prior. Yeah, and still mixing things up, just changing the pace, getting hyper-aggressive, just throwing it in there. So AVANGAR don't know what to expect from round to round, but they managed to recover after losing a play early as well, ENCE. Really nice stuff, and they are abusing the shadow advantages all over the map, and it's really great to see. You saw the pre-fire by the tunnel there. They even had a pot flash, didn't choose to engage beyond it. Don't know how many players are there, just going to hold his ground and pre-fire as soon as AVANGAR get close to showing themselves. They've really been shut down. Some of these games we've seen from AVANGAR have been night and day, like the Dust 2 versus NRG was a non-starter, but the other Dust 2s have been really strong for them. Struggling against the higher ranked opponents in that respect. 3 rounds so far in their T side. They've got some more utility and weaponry than they've had in some of the other eco rounds, or half buys. It's more of a half buy than an eco. I think they can be separate things. Sanji's got a Krieg this time. So we saw Buster with the Hero AK-47. This time we've got Sanji with the Krieg. He's heading towards long at present. Alu's just scouting for information on A.
He might eventually be successful in one of these peaks. But he's going to peek towards long there, but there's no one there anyways, doesn't matter. And you see some counter utility thrown to make life really awkward for AVANGAR, who rush in with the pistols now, but AlexiB in a position to succeed. Headshots for days as he looks to finish off this round, and it looks pretty damn good. 4 kills for him, finished off by Alu, and ENCE will defend. They read that one really well. They put down the smokes at perfect timing and really made it impossible for AVANGAR.
I think AVANGAR really got to get their flashbangs going, because ENCE are abusing every shadow. Look, again, just shadow advantages for days. He has his warning, AlexiB. There's like no surprise factor there if he just stands there and he doesn't get flashed. It is very simple stuff for him. 10 rounds now for ENCE. There's 2 more possible for AVANGAR. That Molotov would normally slow things down, but the lack of smoke grenade might be a warning to ENCE. They've got 3 players ready towards the B bomb site, and Sergey can rotate quickly as well. Sanji makes his way onto the site, finally getting that Mach 10 to work. He could take position if he goes more aggressive. Buster activating as well. Finally a charge into the B bomb site. Ali with 2 though, holding down a short position. That will make it hard to plant a bomb, but he's been picked off eventually. Aerial and AlexiB now coming in from the back. Down the stairs, grenades towards the site. Adrenaline though, he's still alive. They have the angles with Sanji. This won't be easy for ENCE.
Yeah, this is a really awkward spot. That smoke will go away, but time is starting to diminish. The time in which they have to make this work, that is. Ooh, get some damage onto Jane, but now Jane knows exactly where Aerial is, and he'll take down AlexiB as well. So Aerial is done, and AVANGAR will pick up a round, so that's something. They'll be with 4 on the board now, and with the chance for 1 more. If they're able to get that 5-10, there's definitely some room to work with moving into that second half. So we'll see if they were able to do that. It looks like they're waking up a little bit more now. However, again, you know, that round that they won there was off of the back of a very fast play. You know, we see that Mach 10 rushing in there. That's hard to replicate. We'll see if they can do it.
It's interesting. If the CTs throw a Molotov towards... Oh, never mind. It's going to be straight into B. Maybe there's time to talk about it later. Charging through once again. The audacity of it. This might just work out for them. There are 2 CTs here for the time being. That smoke grenade would help them cut the sights in half, but they've been cut to pieces. 2 versus 5 now. This is surely a round for AVANGAR. If it works, it works. Doesn't have to be pretty. Sergey versus 5 now. This is not an easy ace to get. They never are, but this is asking quite a lot. And the grenades keep deploying. They know where he is now. They've got the sound cues, and everybody can face at the same time. 5 rounds at half-time for AVANGAR. A late recovery, and much needed.
Yeah, maybe they'll be thinking that they would have wanted those B rounds earlier. Let's see if they can get that recovery going. Stay with us. We'll see you after the break.
And we are back. ENCE will be starting the T side with 10 rounds on the board, 18 frags for the likes of Sergey. Very important for ENCE on the T side. In the second half, for me, it's about Kika. He's been so important for AVANGAR pretty much every game, and where some other players haven't necessarily delivered so much, I think that he has been quite excellent for AVANGAR and very important. And while he hasn't always been top fragging, the impact of his frags have been very much so. Very, very important, that is. So for me, the go-TV pick in the second half is Kika. AVANGAR are going to be putting a lot of people on the B bomb site to start with. Pop flash play, having a look towards Monster, not seeing much of anything. In fact, I think the entire team is starting in the B bomb site. I respect that. They're ready for the 5 versus 5, but ENCE are not too excited to go into there quickly.
Yeah, it could be a timing thing as well, whereby if the T side were to rush all the way towards A, that you were able to get back towards A just in time after starting with 5 on B. Either way, spotted a couple players have AVANGAR towards that long position, and it's really showing some presence, and that does serve to make things a little bit less readable for AVANGAR, so they just have to hold tight for now in their default setups. And James on that rotation position on A by the stairs, but now Sergey's going to make some more noise here. They still haven't seen the bomb as well, so that's another thing, key piece of information that they don't have. ENCE are kind of making it look like they're lurking around this A bomb site to kind of distract, but what they're really doing now is rotating fully towards that A bomb site. They've managed to get themselves quite close in the bathrooms, which is ideal. Again, it still feels like you just have one player poking you, but here it is. It's been announced. Now AVANGAR know what's going on, but they've only got 2 players on the side to defend, 3 trying to stream in. Kika will get 1 headshot, but it's all ENCE otherwise, and they will have a bomb down very shortly.
Adren alone now. He was the only person left on the B bomb site coming through from Connector. ENCE had 1 flashbang, used it really well to get onto the site, but can they defend it versus Adren? Sergey and Ariel with the crossfire by Optimus and the dice. Adren seems to know what's going on, but there's a nice angle. The wide swing, Adren, can he do it? He's patient, but he can't quite land the headshot. You have to respect how careful he was with those shots. Just couldn't land the last one. To keep his head, though, and try and focus that much, huge respect. However, that's a massive win for ENCE. With a 10-5 scoreline at halftime, that's a huge pistol round. Yeah,
those are 2 disgusting frags from Adren. He looks so good, so controlled for that last one as well. You can see Ariel just annihilating the defense there by himself, the 3K. And you can see Adren, he really was so focused, felt like he had that one. It looked like he had that one, honestly. Either way, it will be ENCE with that key pistol, and AVANGAR will go for the force buy, so they're all in here. 4 players towards B at the beginning of the round, which is not a bad call, as we can see. ENCE are going to be making their way towards that B bomb site. Some grenades in, MAC-10 in as well, but great defense, the MP9 doing the job. This is a bit awkward here now for AVANGAR, as they will get sandwiched towards that short position, perhaps overcommitting. And now James has everything to do with this scout. Oh, nice shot, though. 2 more to go.
Got blocked by the smoke grenade, and that was enough for him to see him at least. He does a hell of a lot of damage, though. Respect for that. Really difficult situation for him, but he made it as expensive as he could. And that may have a part to play in this next round, because a lot of the players' events have got $3,500. So this is a weird spot. This is going to be a very interesting round. AVANGAR are going all in on this one. Let's have a look at some... Never mind. 12-5, ENCE 7-round lead at the moment. We've got the MP5 out for Sergey, which is interesting. MP5 is worse than the MP7, apart from the fact that there are no tracers. Everything else is just bad in comparison. So we've got 2 MAC-10s for ENCE. We have Buster's CZ75 with no Kevlar whatsoever, so he's probably dropped to an M4. 2 players without helmets. 2 players of CZs. This is it's going to be an interesting one. ENCE are far better equipped, I think, with utility, well, utility and weaponry together. So this is going to be a rough spot for AVANGAR. If James can get some maiming done with the scout, then perhaps there is something for AVANGAR to follow up upon.
Minute to go, and Vanguard indeed playing really patiently, or I should say passively. They're so far back on the bomb sizes, and ENCE that's playing patiently. They're just slowly creeping up towards bathrooms, towards connector, towards monster as well. They don't have sewers just yet though, so it's a really slow development of their map control. Smoke on monster, smoke on divider, and a very curious Sanji will close the distance behind that smoke. The most forward player now for AVANGAR, 30 seconds, and they're really starting to wonder what the hell's going on, because you would expect them to have made a move at this point. 25 seconds, Sanji in this deep position. Everybody on ENCE has helmets, so he's going to have to do some serious work to get more than one. He's looking for the timing there. Here's the running Sanji. Does he find a good timing? There's one. Can he find the next player? It's so hard to know which way to look, and that'll be a 1-for-1 trade, which is very beneficial here for ENCE.
They don't even have time to pick up the AK-47 though, but X7 is on the flank with the Krieg. Oh, that was really nervous stuff for ENCE. 5 versus 5 against the Force Spy. You don't want to leave it that late, but it seems it might work out for them. The MP5 with the final frags. Will anybody rescue the AK? Doesn't look like... Oh, Alexi B. Yes, Alexi B gets there just in time. We can see it on our second monitor. So that was really nervous stuff.
Yeah.
That's how many times have we seen a situation like that where the other team is just let back into the round by poor timing, if you will. Again, one thing goes wrong. It's the bomb carrier taken out immediately as well. But Alexi B, if he doesn't trade that, that's GG right there.
Yeah, I think it was Kika that came in at the end there. If he knows what the bomber is and gets that kill, there's 5 seconds left, so there's actually not enough time to pick up the bomb and then plant it again. So I would have won the round. It's pretty crazy. Indeed, risky stuff, but it's worked out for them, and they'll be 13-5, so 3 more to go, and they'll be very happy chappies indeed. 2 Deagles already that AVANGAR have to offer. They're really all they're just playing for that 20th round. So that's where the game has to come back into their hands. And ENCE just once again being extremely patient. ENCE really badly want to catch an aggression. They may just do it because X7, you can see he's waiting on this angle. Will he see the feet? I think he does, and does get some damage. What is the response here from AVANGAR? Will they be forced back? I mean, it's like that is the only option. You can't stay out there if your position's known, and they can't challenge X7. So the only thing they... Oh, actually, they've opted to go for a boost. Oh, there you go. Dren finds it. 40 seconds. The bomb is outside monster. Do they commit towards B, though, ENCE?
Ali looking for something. Very nice HE from both teams. Maybe even better from AVANGAR. Alu and Sergey now 50 and 54 HP. That could be a problem. Nikika's looking to make it one. Now we've got 3 heavily tagged players with 25 seconds on the clock. They need to clean out this bomb site. They don't have any Molotovs though, which will be a pain, but they've got guns. Sanji with the USP now. He's the only man standing. But no one can really take a headshot from him apart from X7. He's got to go and plant the bomb. There'll be a beautiful double peek from ENCE, and they are 2 rounds away from their first game at this major.
Good times for the Finns. Getting that 1-0 right out the gate feels, I'm sure, very, very good. Less urgency in the following game. Vanguard definitely heavy underdogs against ENCE. ENCE, of course, the finals in the last major against StarLadder. And we'll see now ENCE making their way forwards. Sergey out through the smoke, extinguishing that Molotov, keeping the pace fast. What has he got to show? It's like ENCE not having the best time of it. Buster with a good shot there. Sanji, in the midst of all of that, takes the one down, but he's out of position. Can't deny the bomb plant. So AVANGAR actually not in the worst spot ever. 3 versus 2, and the bomb has the ability to be planted now, but the flank is coming in.
That Molotov's gone all the wrong places. They haven't collected the bomb yet. The bomb's been on the floor for a while. You can see the nervousness from both teams throwing grenades at their own selves. And now Sergey is alone. The bomb's still to be collected. There's so much time on the clock, though. I wonder what the plan was for ENCE. They didn't focus on the bomb plant. They focused on control. But that time allows the CTs to get closer. But again, so much time on the clock. 3 different places he could attack from, Sergey. But he's collected the bomb and he'll commit to it. Kika and Sanji not all the health in the world. We've got a huge rotation from Kike. He's going all the way back to the A bomb site. Could have come in from short or from the monster position, but it seems they're probably going to bait from each other. I don't expect a wide swing.
8 bullets. That's not good. It's the first one. Oh my goodness, he can actually reload now because they know where he is, but he's choosing, there it is, he chooses to go for the reload. Sanji tapping the bomb. Sergey, is he a believer? Well, he may have done enough here. There's no kit, I don't think. Indeed, that's enough. And wow, I can't believe he managed to pull that one off.
Well, who was putting those numbers in?
It's true.
Have they got, is the coach on the server as well? Match point for ENCE, 15-5. Beautiful start for them. Major of ex-Space Soldiers fame wrote a tweet saying that you have to look out for some weird results on day one of a major when new teams are coming in, because the teams who've been here already will be more familiar with the computer setups and so on, which is a fair point actually, especially in a best of one. But so far so good for ENCE. This is the ENCE I expected. Yes, they have a significant player going out and coming in, but it doesn't mean they're just going to be bad all of a sudden. They still have the structure and everything they built before. Yeah, and they're still a pretty high-ranked top 10 team.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it'd be outrageous to deny their quality. Sergey's 28 for something, 5 or something like ridiculous like that. It's a 9, okay, but still, 28 for 9 in 20 rounds. It's not bad.
Not too shabby at all. Sergey loses a duel to the auto shotgun. Some bonus money for James if his team can hold on to give him another AWP in the rounds to come. But look at this. ENCE have just crept up to the side with 2 players. They can trade. Sanji can only do so much, and he's about to be on fire. However, LXCV will put him out of his misery. X7 in the meantime can cut off rotation around that short B position. Man advantage, and James in no man's land. What did he choose to do? I mean, he's got to go for it, but he's going towards the B bomb site, looking for the flanker. He'll be flanking his teammate Buster. Horrible way to potentially end things, and now James in a 1 versus 3. No kit, no life, no hope. 16-5, monstrous start for ENCE at the major.
Yeah, again, we just saw that classic ENCE team play cohesion. You know, so many CT setups as that first half. That was a significant win for them, a 10-5 start. AVANGAR actually managed to reset them in terms of how they, ENCE won that pistol. They looked like they were going to build something, then AVANGAR hit them with a couple of hard-hitting rounds, really made them struggle for a few rounds to get that 3-3, but then after that, every single default failed. All the side attacks failed. They couldn't win their duels. We had all these multi-fraction Sergey. ENCE looked great here on day 1.
Yeah, and I didn't expect them to look any different from that. Sergey had a fantastic time. I think it was awesome. Just the positions the CTs were holding, the CTs of ENCE were holding in the first half, and just how many shadow advantages were abused across the map. I think that's a great demo for people at home to look at, just to see how you can have advantages based on your position and not being too overly aggressive, and having 2-man setups with your teammates as well. That was just really awesome to see. It was a fantastic start for ENCE.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see more Counter-Strike from them. Again, it's just the quality, or I should say the type of quality that they bring to the server is just quite beautiful. Like all of the very elite teams, they play Counter-Strike, of course, in slightly different ways, but they all do it to such a high degree of efficiency. It's just it's a masterclass. It's beautiful to watch. So looking forward to seeing them. But AVANGAR, they've got to go back to the drawing board. Overpass is normally a pretty comfortable map for them, but they look pretty lost against ENCE.
Yeah, and I think ENCE could have an interesting one. I know some of the guys have been looking in that simulator, which says, if the results are like this, who's going to face who? So that might be pretty cool indeed to see if they go 3-0. I know some people pick them more of a safety thing, but it's time to talk about that later. I think that's enough from us. I'm not sure. Production, we're going to a break or we're going to the desk? We are going to an interview, excuse me. Over to Sue. Hi, Sue.
Hello to you as well, James, and congratulations, LXCV. This was a very, very straightforward win for you guys. I know with the sort of best of ones, sometimes interesting results can happen. We saw earlier at the Major that the CIS teams are actually doing very well. So what were your expectations going up against AVANGAR?
I mean, we know that they are a good team, but still, we just knew it's going to be Overpass or Mirage. And on Overpass, we can start on the CT side and get the game rolling. So it's like, I think we had the chances to play a even better CT half, but on the last rounds, they just came B and we weren't awake. So, but still a very good game for us.
I know with the recent news, I know this is going to be the last tournament for you. Does that mean that you're still calling, or is Alu sort of stepping in and calling as well?
it's like 50-50. We're trying to play with the flow. And like you saw on T side, it was me saying some stuff on the force buy round and like the first buy or something. And then the rest, Alu just said something. And we're just playing with the flow, trying to play with the good mindset and go from there.
And I know coming into the major, some teams had extensive boot camps. What was the situation like for you guys again because of the situation?
Just a boot camp, and we just played a lot for the 2 weeks. Of course, my mentality was a bit off at first, but I have a good composure and I can keep it up.
Well, at least with this game, we saw how great that turned out. So congratulations once again with that best of one victory under the belt. We're gonna be right back as when we come back. More Counter-Strike action coming your way.